All right, so now let's break the solo down. We're in the key of A. We're going to start off in second position, kind of an A major pentatonic position, and then we're going to switch into an A minor position, more fifth position on the guitar. So here's the first lick. So we're going to start off with the open A string and then slide 3 to 4 on the A string, 2 to 4 on the D, G string, 2nd fret, back to 4 on the D string, 2 on the G string, slide 4 to 6 on the G, grab 5 on the high E. Here's what we've done so far. And we're going to play that 3 times. And now we're going to play this riff, which is a whole step bend from the 5th fret of the G string, and then we'll grab 3 on the B string, followed by 5, 4, 2 on the G string, 4 on the D, and then hammer on 2 to 4 on the G string. So here's what we've just done from the bend at the 5th fret of the G string. And now here's everything we've done so far. And now we're going to repeat everything that I just played, everything we've done so far, but on the repeat, we're going to add a pull-off onto the 2nd fret of the G string. So whereas the first time around we ended with this, the second time around we'll end with this. We just added a pull-off onto the 2nd fret of the G string. So now from the beginning, here's everything that we've done. And now here's the next phrase. Slide into the 6th fret of the G string and then play the 5th fret on the high E string 2 times. Now bend up a whole step from the 7th fret of the high E and then play 7 to 5 also on the high E string. Now 5B, 5 on the high E, back to 5B, slide 8 to 10 on the B string. Okay, so here's the phrase we've just learned. And here's the next lick. So here we're going to play 8 to 10 on the high E string, strike 10 once again, now bend up a whole step from the 10th fret of the high E string, strike that note, release the bend, pull off to the 8th fret. Now once again bend up a whole step from the 10th fret of the high E string and then play 10 to 8. Now bend up a whole step from the 10th fret of the high E string. We're not going to release that bend, just upwards. And now on the 8th fret of the high E string, give it a little bluesy bend, roughly a quarter step, before grabbing 10 on the B string. And back to that bluesy bend from the 8th fret of the high E string, just roughly a quarter step, just to push that note a little bit. So here's the phrase we've just learned. And here's the next phrase. So here we're going to start on the 10th fret of the B string, bend up a whole step from the 10th fret of the high E before playing 10 without the bend, 8 on the high E, Bend a whole step from 10 on the high E. And once again, we're not going to release the bend, so here's what we've just done. Now we're going to shift positions. I'm in 12th position now, and here's how this phrase continues. So we'll bend a whole step from the 15th fret of the B string and then grab 15 on the high E string. Strike 15B, release the bend, pull off to the 13th fret. Now bend up a whole step from 15 on the B and then play 15 without the bend. 13 on the B string, 14 on the G. Now 15 on the B string, give it a little bluesy bend, just roughly a half step, just slightly. We want to add a little flavor there. And now 13 also on the B string. So here's the phrase we've just gone over. Now we're going to shift positions. We're going to play up an octave up here in 17th position, and here's the next idea. So we'll bend a whole step from the 19th fret of the G string, grab 17 on the high E, bend up a whole step from 19 on the G, grab 17B, 17 high E, bend up a whole step from 20 on the B string, and then grab 20 on the high E string, strike 20 on the B string, release the bend, 17B, 19G with a bend before grabbing 17 on the high E. Back to 20 on the B string. So here's what we've done so far. Now we're going to continue with this. "17 on the B string, bend up a whole step from 20 on the B string before grabbing 17 on the high E, 20, 17 on the B, 19th fret of the G string, bend up a whole step before playing 20 on the B string, and then we'll be into our next phrase. So let's review what we've done starting off in this 17th position. Okay, next phrase. So we'll bend a whole step from 20 on the B string, grab 20 on the high E, strike 20 on the B, release the bend, 17 on the B string, 19th fret of the G, bend up a whole step, and then 19 to 17 on the G string, 19 on the D, pivot back with the third finger here, play 19, 17 on the G string. Okay, so here's the phrase we've just gone over. And that's the end of this section, and we're going to shift positions now down one octave, but let's just review what we've done up here in this 17th position. Now we're going to be in 5th position. We're going to play a lick consisting of 5 notes, and we're going to play that lick 6 times. The lick consists of a whole step bend from the 7th fret of the G string, followed by 5B, 5E, and then pull off 8 to 5 on the B string. We'll play that 6 times. And here's the next phrase. Pull off 8 to 5 on the B, pull off 7 to 5 on the G 2 times, followed by 7 on the D, and then 7 to 5 on the G string. So with the lick that just came before, here's what we've just done. Okay, here's the next phrase. So 7, 5, 7 on the D, 5 on the G, 7 on the D, 5 to 7 on the G string. When I get to the 7th fret there, I bend up a whole step without releasing the bend. So here's what we've done so far. Now we'll play 7 on the D, 3 hits on the 7th fret of the G string, strike the 7th fret again, this time bending up a whole step before playing 7 to 5 on the G string, back to 7D, 5G, 8 on the B, bend up a whole step from the 7th fret of the G before playing 7 to 5 on the G string, 7D, hammer on 5 to 7 on the G. Okay, so here's the phrase we've just gone over. Okay, next phrase, very recognizable, goes like this. Little chromaticism here. 5, 6, 7 on the D string, 5 on the G. We'll play those 4 notes 2 times. Now we'll play 5, 6, 7, D, 7, G, back to 5, 6, 7, D, 5 on the G. So here's that 6-note phrase. And now repeat those 6 notes. And we get out of this by playing 5, 6, 7, D, 5, 3, 4, A, 5, slide back to 3 on the low E string. Okay, so here's what we've just done. Now we're back to the first lick of the solo. Okay, which we're going to play 3 times just to refresh your memory. Open A string, slide 3 to 4 on the A string, 2, 4 on the D, 2G, 4D, 2G, slide 4 to 6 on the G, grab 5 on the high E. We'll play that 3 times. And this time we'll end like this. 4 on the A, 2 on the D, 5, 3, 4 on the A, 3 on the low E. Okay, so let's put that in context. Here's the next phrase. So this is very similar to the opening riff of the song. We'll play the open A string, slide 3 to 4 on the A string, 2 to 4 on the D, 2G, 4D, 2G, slide 4 to 6 on the G, 5B, 5 on the high E, slide 8 to 10 on the B. Now we're going to play some staccato or short notes. So 8, 9 on the high E string. From the 10th fret, we'll bend up a whole step and then strike 10 without the bend. Repeat those two notes. Repeat those two notes again, followed by 8 to 10. Bend up a whole step from the 10th fret of the high E string, followed by the 8th fret of the high E string, followed by 10 on the B, back to 8 on the high E. Here's that phrase once again. And we're going to end the solo with this lick. Which is 10 on the B string, 13 on the B string, bend up 2 whole steps and then release the bend. Back to 10 on the B. So here's what we've just done. And now repeat that. And just to get out of it, we're going to play a G5 power chord, D5 power chord, A5 power chord. Okay, so there are all of the notes for the solo. You've heard it up to tempo. Now check it out with the backing track at the medium tempo and then at the slower tempo. Of course, feel free to jam along. So here it is, first the medium tempo.